Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more videos, and press the bell icon to receive updates.
Hello friends, today we are going to study the historical background and objects of the Civil Procedure Code. The first Code of Civil Procedure was enacted in 1859, that is Act of 7 of 1859, by the committee headed by Mr. John Romilly. It was amended in 1877 and subsequently in 1882. However, those amendments did not serve the purpose. Therefore, the present Code of Civil Procedure was enacted in 1908. It was drafted by the committee headed by Sir Earl Richards. This committee, before submitting the draft to the Westminster Parliament, traveled throughout India, and then draft legislation was prepared, keeping all such things in view. The Code of Civil Procedure 1908 5 of 1908 came into force with the effect from January 1, 1909. There are four major amendments. The objects of amendments was to keep the procedure law in tune with the changing needs of society and even technological advances. Now let us study the objects of the Civil Procedure Code. The word code signifies a systematic collection of statutes, a body of law so arranged as to avoid inconsistency and overlapping. The preamble of the code states that the object of the act is to consolidate and amend the laws relating to the procedure of the courts of civil judicature. The main aim of the CPC is to facilitate justice and seek an end to the litigation rather than provide any form of punishment and penalties. The Civil Procedure Code directs each activity in civil courts and gathering previously it till the execution of the decree and order. Now here we are to study some case laws to understand the objects of the act. In Administrator General of Bengal versus Premlal Mulik, INR 1895, 22 Calcutta, 788 PC, and Mahanta Shantananda Giri Chela versus Mahanta Basudevanand, AR 1930, Allahabad 225, page number 230, FB case. The court observed that to consolidate law means to collect statutory law relating to a particular subject and to bring it down to date in order that it may form a useful code applicable to the circumstances existing at the time when the Consolidation Act is enacted. In Kapil Dev Prasad versus Ramananda Prasad, AR 2007, Part 1 case, the Patna High Court observed that CPC is a complete code in itself. Once proceedings are initiated under the code, rights and remedies have to be looked thereunder. In Premlal Nahata versus Chandi Prasad Sikaria, AR 2007, SC 1247 case, the court observed that the code consolidates and amends laws relating to the courts of civil judicature. In Sayyid Muhammad Bakar versus Abdul Habib Hassan Arab, AR 1998, SC 1624 case, the court opined that procedural law is always subservient to substantive law and is in aid to justice. Nothing can be given by procedural law what is not sought to be given by substantive law, and nothing can be taken away by the procedural law what is given by the substantive law. Now let us study the scope of Civil Procedure Code. Civil Procedure Code is a body of law which gives procedures, practices, and methods used in civil litigation. It does not affect or supersede any special law like Contract Act, TOPA, that is Transfer of Property Act. In case of conflict between the special and the code, special law shall prevail. When the special law is silent on the situation in the matter, then the code shall prevail, but the decision should be within the scope of periphery of the special law. Now let us study the extent and applicability of the Code of Civil Procedure. The code is applicable to the whole country except the state of Jammu Kashmir, and second, the state of Nagaland and tribal areas. Through the amendment of 1976, the provisions has also been extended to scheduled areas. According to Section 96 of the Jammu and Kashmir Reorganization Act 2019, CPC is applicable to Jammu and Kashmir also. In Westerly Dakar versus Shekeya Lindo 2015 for SCC, the court held that courts in such areas, that is exempted areas, shall be guided by the spirit of the code and would not be bound by the letter of CPC. Now let us discuss the interpretation of the Procedural Act. The principle of interpretation of statutes that procedural laws are well settled is always retrospective in operation unless there are good reasons to the contrary. Their provisions will already apply to the proceedings commenced at the time of the enactment. This is so because no can have a vested right in forms of procedure. Now let us understand the interpretation strategy of the Procedural Act with some case laws. In Sangram Singh versus Election Tribunal, AR 1955 SC 425, page number 429 case, the court held that the function of adjective law is to facilitate justice and further its aim. Procedural law is also called as adjective law. In RMD Chamar Bagwala versus Union of India, AR 1957 SC 628, page number 631 case, the Supreme Court observed that the statute is to be construed according to the intention of them that make it. The duty of the judicature is to act upon the true intention of the legislature, the mains or sentential legis. In District Mining Officer versus Tata Iron and Steel Company, AR 2001 SC 3134, page 3152 case, the court held that if a statutory provision is open to more than one interpretation, the court has to choose that interpretation which represents the true intention of the legislature. In Ganesh Trading Company versus Mojiram, AR 1978 SC 484, page 488 case, the court held that a hyper-technical view should not be adopted by the court in interpretation of the procedural law. In Ghanshyam Das versus Dominion of India, AR 1984 SC 1004, page number 1010 case, the court observed that our laws of procedures are based on the principles that as far as possible, no proceedings in the court of law should be allowed to be defeated on mere technicalities. The provisions of the Code of Civil Procedure, therefore, must be interpreted in manner so as to subserve and advance the cause of justice rather than defeat it. In Collector Land Acquisition Anantnag versus MST Katiji, AR 1987 SC 1353 case, the court observed that substantial justice has to be preferred upon the procedural technicalities. The Honorable Supreme Court of India returned the findings as under: when substantial justice and the technical considerations are pitted against each other, cause of substantial justice deserves to be preferred, for the other side cannot claim to have vested right in injustice being done because of a non-deliberate delay. In Zolba versus Keshav, AIR 2008 SC 2099 case, the court observed that the use of the word shall is ordinarily indicative of mandatory nature of the provision, but having regard to the context in which it is used or having regard to the intention of the legislation, the same can be construed as directory. Now let us study the scheme of the code. The code can be divided into two parts, and they are: first, the body of the code having preliminary and 11 parts containing 158 sections, and second, the first schedule containing 51 orders and rules. The body of the code lays down general principles of jurisdiction relating to the power of the court. The body of the code containing sections is fundamental and cannot be amended except by the legislature. The first schedule, which is only schedule to the code, now has 51 orders which provide for the procedures, methods, manners, and modes in which the jurisdiction of the court may be exercised. In fact, there were 5 schedules when this code was enacted. Later, the schedules 2, 3, 4, and 5 were repealed by the subsequent amendments of the code. There are 8 appendices giving model forms such as: first, pleadings, plaint and written statement formats; second, process formats; third, discovery, inspection and admission; fourth, decrees; fifth, execution; sixth, supplemental proceedings; 7, appeal, reference and reviews; and 8, miscellaneous. The various high courts are empowered to alter or add any rules in the schedules under section 122 to 127, 129, 130, and 131, and such new rules should not be inconsistent with the provisions of the body of the code. The provisions of the body of the code can be amended only by legislature, and the courts cannot alter or amend the body of the code. We can conclude that the main aim of the Code of civil procedure is to facilitate justice and seek an end to the litigation rather than provide any form of punishment and penalties. The Civil Procedure Code directs each activity in civil courts and gathering previously it till execution of the decree and order. Civil Procedure Code is the body of law which gives procedures and practices and methods used in the civil litigation. It does not affect or supersede any special law. Thank you for watching this video.
Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more videos, and press the bell icon to receive updates.